The 1960s and 1970s saw a substantial increase in the number of cereals being marketed towards children. The cereal aisles became an all-out battlefield between Kellogg's, Post, General Mills, and Quaker. These companies got creative with mascots, stories, flavors, and advertising during Saturday morning cartoons. In this video, we'll take a look back at some of the long-lost cereals. This short-lived orange-flavored cereal was introduced in 1973 and was a spin-off from the original Super Sugar Crisp cereal. They claimed that 1 ounce had more vitamin C than a 4-ounce glass of orange juice. Freakies was a cereal from Ralston that was released in 1973. The cereal was an instant hit when it launched. The bump-covered monsters on the box played a big part in the success. If you remember the story in the commercial, those Freakies searched for the mythical Freakies tree, which provided an endless supply of Freakies. Once they found it, they decided to live there forever. The cereal also came in a chocolate version called Cocoa Freakies. In 1975, Fruity Freakies hit the stores, but all of the Freakies cereals disappeared from the shelves around 1977. Ralston tried to bring them back in 1987, but it didn't last long and they were discontinued the following year. Moonstones was a fruit-flavored cereal with pieces shaped like stars, half-moons, and planets. Today it might make you think of Runts candy. The cereal launched in 1976 and it was promoted as the delicious space-shaped cereal that's out of this world. Grins and smiles and giggles and laughs was certainly a mouthful, at least in saying the name. The cereal was launched in 1976 and they claimed it was a cereal that smiles back at you. The box had quite a bit going on with the name as well as the characters. The big yellow machine is Cecil, and when he laughed, boxes of cereal would shoot out of his mouth. FrostyOs were introduced in 1959 by General Mills. It was described in 3 different ways on the box. Early boxes said goodness in a sugar-charged oat cereal. Later boxes stated goodness shaped like little frosted donuts. Another early box described the cereal as new sugar-charged Cheerios. Kellogg's OK hit the market in 1959 and was promoted as the best in oats. The cereal pieces were in the shape of the letters O and K and were said to taste similar to Cheerios. In the beginning, the character featured on the box was Big Otis. He was a muscular Scottish man in traditional apparel. In the 60s, the mascot was changed to Yogi Bear, but even he couldn't save a cereal that was just okay, and it was discontinued in 1962. Kellogg's Crunchy Logs was introduced in 1978, and it was a corn and oat cereal shaped into, well, logs. The mascot was Bixby Beaver, and it was fortified with 10 essential vitamins and minerals. Since this came in a log, then perhaps one of the greatest ingredients might have been fiber. Wacky's was an oat cereal with banana-flavored marshmallow bits, and it came out in 1965 by General Mills. According to the television ads, the cereal had banana bingles, banana jangles, oat gloops, oat glots, and lots more wacky shapes. Captain Crunch has had a large fleet of variety of flavors, but in the early 70s they had Punch Crunch. This was a pink cereal that had a fruit punch flavor. The interesting thing about this cereal is that the little pieces were round like Cheerios. Puffa rice cereal was introduced by Kellogg's in 1967. This was a puffed and toasted rice with brown cane sugar. In the beginning, the cereal had sort of a Hawaiian or Polynesian theme. Then in 1972, it switched to a smiling train puffing out cereal from the steam engine. The cereal disappeared from the stores in 1975. Crazy Cow cereal came out in 1977 from General Mills. The box described it as a frosted cereal that makes artificial strawberry milk, you just have to add the milk. A chocolate version was also released at the same time. The box featured a fun, lovable cow preparing the cereal. Twinkled cereal from General Mills hit the shelves in 1960. The star-shaped pieces were made of oat and corn and were sprinkled with multicolored jimmies. The mascot was an elephant named Twinkles, which was a tie-in with an animation that aired on NBC and ABC. Mr. Wonderful Surprise was a chocolatey cereal released by General Mills in 1972. It had round puffs that were filled with creamy chocolate flavor filling. The cereal also came in a vanilla variety. If the puffs busted somewhere between the production line and the table, then the consumer was left with hollow puffs and small drops of hardened filling. Klondike Peaks Crunchy Nuggets was introduced by Nabisco in 1972. The cereal came in a wheat cereal as well as a rice cereal. The mascot was a wacky prospector who searches for gold with a mule named Thorndyke. This cereal was discontinued in 1975. Pink Panther Flakes were introduced by Post in 1973. Post cereal was a co-sponsor of the Pink Panther show, which aired on Saturday mornings. This cereal was created as a tie-in with that program. The cereal itself was a bright pink sugar-coated cornflake. The taste was really similar to a sugar-frosted flake, but with more sugar. The pink didn't add any flavor at all to the cereal. Cream Crunch cereal was a cereal conceived by Kellogg's and released in 1965. It was promoted as chunks of real ice cream freeze-dried into a nutritious cereal. This was really the same concept as astronaut ice cream, which was developed by Whirlpool Corporation in association with NASA for the first Apollo missions. However, the cereal came out long before the astronauts took it into space. The pieces were Cheerio-shaped and made from corn, wheat, and oats. They came in 3 varieties, which were vanilla, orange, and strawberry. The cereal didn't stay on the market too long, and it was discontinued 1 year later. Quake cereal was introduced in 1965 by Quaker, and another one that was introduced at the same exact time by the same company was Quisp. The 2 cereals were almost always promoted together in television commercials and printed ads. Quake's mascot was a muscular, broad-jawed man who wore a miner's helmet and a cape. Quisp mascot was a pink alien who propelled himself by a propeller lodged into his head. Both cereals were relatively similar in flavor, and in the long run, Quisp beat out Quake in sales. Quaker tried to update the Quake character, but Quisp still outsold it. In 1973, Quake disappeared from the grocery stores. Orange Quangaroos was another creation of Quaker and was introduced in 1973. This was an orange-flavored cereal that was sort of a spin-off of Quisp and Quake. When Quake left the market, Quangaroos was pitted against Quisp, and once again, Quisp proved to be victorious. Simon the Quangaroo hopped off the market less than 5 years after it came out. Post introduced Corn Crackos in 1967. It was described as a deliciously sweetened cereal made from corn, oat, and soy flour. The cereal was crackly when you crunched it. The mascot was a British bird named Crackos. Triple Snack cereal was introduced by Kellogg's in 1963. The cereal contained roasted peanuts, sugar-puffed corn, and sugar-puffed wheat. The mascot was a blue giraffe who claimed it was swell as a snack and delicious as a cereal. Combo's cereal was from Kellogg's and it was introduced in 1969. It came in 3 varieties, which were orange, strawberry, and chocolate. The mascot was Blue Gnu, a striped horned gnu in a cool blue sports coat. Corn Flakes with instant bananas came out in 1964 from Kellogg's. They introduced this cereal in response to Post releasing their freeze-dried cereal, which was Corn Flakes with strawberries. The mascot was a talking banana named Pronto. The bananas didn't do too well in a bowl of milk, and they could often turn to a brown color. Most people didn't care for this cereal, and it was discontinued in 1966. Baron von Redberry and Sir Grapefellow were introduced by General Mills in 1972. Both mascots were World War I pilots who were usually promoted together as good-natured enemies. Both proclaimed that they had the best cereal. Baron von Redberry was more of a fruit flavor, while Sir Grapefellow was grape-flavored, of course. Both cereals were full of sugar, and it is certainly one of the more memorable cereals of the 1970s. Kaboom cereal was a creation of General Mills, and it came out in 1969. The pieces were colorful and meant to resemble the smiling face of a clown. The marshmallows came in shapes of a circus animal. Kaboom was pretty popular and stayed on the market for decades. It even made an appearance in the 2003 Quentin Tarantino film Kill Bill Volume 1. If you think back to your childhood, then I'm sure you'll remember eating some sort of cereal and enjoying it. What were some of your favorites? Please let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching.